Subscribe, follow, like, share. Last Bell Boxing. These guys give you all the exclusives, and next time I get my fight date, it's going to be exclusive on here as well. So make sure you give them all a follow.
Hello and welcome to Last Bell Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel. Joined today by show regular Sean. How's trick, Sean?
Yeah, everything's good, my end, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. Thank you for asking. So let's jump straight into it then. We're going to cover the undercard of Yarde versus Benavidez on November the 22nd. Some of them are proposed, some of them are confirmed. But we'll just have a canter through them. So the first fight that I'd like to touch on is a very intriguing one. Is Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney for the WBO welter. Now, I'll be honest with you, I really rate Devin Haney, and I don't think there's anybody who can beat him in that weight class. A lot of people moan that he's not a knockout artist, but if you're a fan of the sweet science, you should be a fan of Devin Haney. So, give us your thoughts on this one, Sean.
Yeah, it's a really good fight for Devin. I'm a big supporter of him. I think he's a brilliant watch. I think he gets quite a lot of stick, really. Unfairly, as you say. If you're a fan of the sweet science, you should be a fan of Devin's, and I think he's a good boxer. I think he's probably one of the best to come out of America recently in the last 5 years, certainly. And I think it's a good fight for him. Obviously, he had the bit of controversy with Ryan Garcia. Who knows what will happen with those going forward? But I think for Devin, it's a good fight for him to get his career back on track, really.
Why do you think it is that he don't endear himself to not only the American boxing public but the worldwide boxing public? Because he's had Eddie Hearn in his corner, some decent PR, but it just hasn't quite worked right. He hasn't gone from the back page to the front page of newspapers for some reason.
Yeah, I think some people take his dad the wrong way, Bill, maybe. I really like Bill. I think he's good for boxing. He's doing good for his son, trying to be his mouthpiece in a way. I don't know, really. I just think I think Americans in particular, they only really like knockouts from what I gather speaking to them. So I think they underappreciate the boxing purity, if you like. I think if he was British, I think it would be a different kettle of fish altogether. I think he would be appreciated and get his props. I just think the American market's quite hard to please, really.
Let's have it right. Norman Jr. is no joke, right? 28-0. He's gonna be coming to win. So, but I think that brings the best out of Haney. A bit like Kambosos. You know, when he went, people forget that he went to Kambosos' backyard and dethroned him in an absolute masterclass, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's almost a bit like Usyk and Lomachenko, really. Although he's American, it always seems he's fighting on the B side of the cards, and always seems he's on the road, really. And I think, as you say, this will bring out the best in Devin. I think he'll rise to the challenge, and I think he'll remind people, much like Shakur Stevenson has done, that actually these guys are the elite fighters, and America should be proud that they represent them.
Yeah, fully agreed. So let's move on then, because it's a great card that's shaping. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Now, I know who we're going to be looking for in this fight, but this feels like a bit of a cup final for Sam Noakes. Or am I being harsh? Because Sam Noakes sits at 17-0, Abdullah Mason sits at 19-0. This is for the vacant WBO lightweight title, so potentially life-changing for Sam Noakes. Can he do it, Sean, or is he going to be outclassed?
Yeah, I guess that's the question. I mean, it must be all his Christmases come at once, really. I mean, he's come out the right way, obviously, won the British, come up the conventional way for us over here. So I think he's definitely earned his shot. I must confess, though, I don't know too much about the guy he's fighting, but if it's for a vacant title, generally they're well-contested fights. So I'll back Sam, and I hope he pulls it off.
Yeah, so do I. Like so that's the most intriguing fight where we don't know how it's going to swing, do I? I think the rest of them we can kind of lean one way or the other. So good luck to Sam Noakes, and I hope he brings the title back to Britain. Just on a side note, I wasn't aware that Nick Ball was the only male world champion we've got on these shores at the minute.
Yeah, that surprised me as well. I know we didn't have many, but I was surprised that he was the only one currently as well.
Yeah, it just shows maybe that's a bit of a downfall in British boxing because we're blessed with a lot of world champions at one stage, wasn't there? But that might be another video topic. So moving on to the next one. Now, this is a fighter that I really like. Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. Now, if you listen to Eddie, Martinez is no joke, and he's a live dog in this fight. Is what Eddie is saying. Now, we all know Eddie likes to spin a narrative before a fight, but everything that I've watched and his record points that he could well be a tricky opponent for Bam. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I agree. I think certainly on paper it's his toughest fight. Then again, I thought the same when he fought Sonny Edwards, and look how that turned out. I just think Bam's a special fighter. I know people don't necessarily pay attention to flyweight, super flyweight, but I think really he's a generational talent, and I don't think he'll be beaten. Obviously, the super fight, if it ever happened, would be him and Inoue. I mean, what a fight that would be. But I think as for this fight, I think Bam will show his class as he has done throughout his career. And I think he'll probably get a mid to late stoppage in this fight.
Yeah, timing's everything, isn't it? I do think he got Sonny Edwards slightly after his best. I think he's on the decline when he got older, Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards was very graceful in defeat, wasn't he? He just said he was better than me on the night. But I do wonder, Sonny's career stalled a little bit, didn't he? He jumped through promotions and different broadcasters. I do think what would have happened if Sonny would have got him in his prime would have been a very interesting fight, right?
Yeah, and I guess the other thing about that just quickly is I think the U5 fight was the fight straight after that for Sonny, and look how that turned out for him. So I would agree with that, absolutely.
Yeah. So again, this is only a proposed fight at this stage. And this is Callum Smith, which I'm a massive fan of, against David Morrell from Cuba at the light heavy. Light heavy is a very interesting division at the minute. You know, with Buatsi going over to Queensborough, you know, you've got your clear two world class fighters at the top, haven't you? In Bivol and Beterbiev. But then we've got a very good domestic bunch of fighters who you know it's crying out for a tournament or something like that. I honestly think Callum Smith's top of that domestic list. I think he's top of it, and I think he would beat any of them. But this David Morrell, I remember watching him against Benavidez, is no joke. And so if this fight does happen, like all things are pointing towards it is going to happen, Callum Smith's going to have to be switched on, right? Or this could be a potential banana skin for him. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. And like yourself, I rate Callum Smith really highly. I think there's obviously Bivol, Benavidez, Callum Smith. Then there's a gap between the rest, and I think we saw that in the Buatsi fight. I think Callum Smith, I think he'll win. It's going to be competitive. But for me, it's just a shame he isn't in the spot Anthony Yarde's got, really, because I think he was more deserving of that fight personally.
Interesting that one, isn't it, Sean? There's obviously some politics behind that one, I'd probably suggest, but it's interesting how Anthony Yarde jumped the queue, you know, in front of Callum Smith, because there were noises, wasn't there? It would be Callum Smith who's jumping in with Benavidez.
Yeah, for a long while as well, there was talk that obviously where the Bivol has all the belts now, there was talk that they'll be further fragmented, and Callum Smith and Benavidez would have been for a world title. So I'm disappointed in that regard. It's obviously not to say that we won't see that fight, but I think really Callum Smith was more deserving on a big show like this ahead of Yarde.
What I would say about Callum Smith is, and I don't know this, but I'm just surmising, he earned a hell of a lot of money for winning that World Boxing Series tournament, right? And I mean a lot of money. So, by all accounts, it's quite a tough negotiation with Callum Smith, because if you don't hit the number or he doesn't fancy it, then he ain't doing it. And he's in a position where he doesn't have to do it financially. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe the numbers just didn't stack up, Sean.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so last one before we go to our predictions is another proposed one, which is Dalton Smith versus Sabrao Mateus for the WBC. Dalton Smith, this could genuinely be life-changing, right? Because to get that green and gold strap normally leads you to the promised land in terms of purses, doesn't it? So give us your thoughts on this one, because Matthias is no joke, right? You don't get the WBC title out of a gift bag. So, do we generally know how good Dalton is as well at this stage? From his record, you know, he's beat a lot of domestic level fighters. Has he generally been in with anyone of world class yet, Sean?
I guess that is to be determined, really. One thing I will say is I do think he's ready for this, and he's definitely earned it. He's won the British Commonwealth European, so he's ticked all those boxes if you're a traditionalist. I met him at the Harlem Eubank show.
Very nice guy, right, Sean?
He is, yeah. He was in the corner for Conlin with his dad, who trains Conlin, and he gave everyone plenty of time. He's really nice guy, and I really hope he wins. I think I saw the world title fight the other week, and I wasn't impressed with him at all, really. I think Dalton Smith's got a really good chance of winning, and let's not be beat around the bush here. 140 is generally a red hot division, particularly with the American market as well, where this fight is proposed to be. So I think it can really sort of light the touch fire on his career and push him into stardom.
One fight. This is my prediction. So I'll see Dalton Smith beating Matthias, and then I think Adam Azim would have joined Queensberry by that stage. And I think that fight will happen in next year's 5 versus 5, wherever that lands.
Yeah, that's a really good show. I think that's the common conception, isn't it? That Adam Azim will probably join Queensberry rather than Matchroom, just because of the McGuigan Ham relationship isn't the best of late. So I can see that happening, absolutely. And it would be nice if Adam Azim can upgrade the IBO and win some version of a world title as well to make that a unification.
Yeah, Azim's very young though, isn't he? So they might, he's very young. So I'm just conscious, once you get to that world level, there's no turning back. So it'll be interesting to see if the stars align.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now then, Sean, we've cantered through and gave our views on the fights. Let's get to predictions. And we will include Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde in this one. So I'll let you go first on David Benavidez versus Yarde. Give us your prediction.
I think Benavidez gets a late stoppage.
Okay. Do you want to give us a round? Do you know how I roll? No sprinters?
I reckon it'll be round 11.
Okay, I'm going Benavidez to stop Anthony Yarde round 10. Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. I'll go first. It's only right. I think Devin Haney will take this on a points decision, on a unanimous points decision. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, mate. I don't think he'll get the stoppage, so I think he'll win fairly wide on points.
Okay. Mason versus Noakes. Your turn to go first.
Oh, this is a hard one, but I'm going to back the Brit. I'm going to go Sam Noakes on points.
Okay, I'm going for Sam Noakes to stop him. Round 11.
Nice.
Juan Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. I'm going. Oh, sorry, it's your turn first this time. Was it me?
No, it's yours, mate. Yours.
Okay. Early mornings and all that. I'm going Bam Rodriguez to knock Martinez out in round 6.
Oh, I was just going to say round 6 as well. Yeah.
You take round 6 as well then. Callum Smith versus Morrell. I'm going to go for Callum Smith to win on points.
Yeah, well, Callum Smith's a decent puncher at light heavy, as we've seen. I'm going to go Smith round 8.
Okay. And last but not least, Smith Matthias. I'm going to go for Dalton Smith to win on a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my late stoppage theory. I'm going to go Dalton Smith round 10.
Okay, that's me and Sean. We've given our views. Time for you to give your views. Post your comments below. We're getting some great interaction on the channel at the minute. A lot of YouTube comments, Instagram comments, Facebook comments, even TikTok comments these days. So keep them coming. I always respond to the comments. It's all about debate on this channel. We'll be going live again on Thursday, starting our series of lives again for you to join us to talk live about all things boxing. This has been Last Ball Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers, Sean.
Cheers.